Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is Wednesday, October 3rd, 2012. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's jump right into the charts here. We'll start with the usual S&P 500 E-mini futures. You'll see that the futures are trading higher by 2.5 points this morning. Decent little bid, but almost every day now we've been seeing the futures start the day a little higher and then really give up gains during the middle of the day. So once again, I just want to remind you to watch the U.S. dollar very closely. If the U.S. dollar index starts to move higher, there's a good chance that the markets could come back in. If the dollar starts to move lower, then obviously that will inflate the markets and keep them higher throughout the day. But nonetheless, futures are trading up a little bit by about 2.5 points at the moment to 1443.50, and we'll see how that plays out a little bit later. The U.S. dollar is also up this morning as well. It's down a little off of its highs, but it's still positive by about 9 pennies at the moment. So, again, dollar pulling back off the highs, market catching a little bit of a bid. But nonetheless, the dollar is in positive territory by about 9 cents. Not that big a deal. We'll see how it plays out once the opening bell rings. That's usually much more important. So we'll see how that plays out going forward. Across the pond in Europe today, you have the European markets all basically trading higher for the most part. I did see the French CAC 40 was slightly negative, and Spain was down 0.5%. But you do have Germany and Italy both trading higher. France is down 0.2%, and the FTSE 100, which is England, and they are not part of the European Union, or the Eurozone, I should say. They can print their own money. They're up about one. It looks like, almost 0.2%, a little less than 0.2%. So, in any case, just a little small, modest gain there. We'll see how this plays out. The ADP job report was just released in the United States, and you could see that the futures got a little bit of a bid. Looks like 162,000 jobs were created according to the ADP report. But the ADP report and the labor report from the U.S. Labor Department have not been totally correlated. And so we'll see how that plays out on Friday. We have the big government monthly job number on Friday. So we'll see how that plays out. Right now, you do have the futures still trading up a little bit. And that's just a modest little gain. We don't want to make too much out of it. Let's take a look at gold and oil this morning. You do have gold trading higher by about $4. Gold continues to hold up very well, refusing to back off. Gold is continuing to just really put in just a sideways base on the charts. Here's a nice little morning pop. And again, if the dollar comes in, gold will get more of a bid. You can take a look here at the dollar. Dollar pulled in 2 bars. Take a look at the GLD in the pre-market here, and you can see how the GLD has caught a little bit of a bid. Nonetheless, gold is up about 60 cents from yesterday's close, and that's a decent little pop. If the dollar pulls back more, gold will go higher. Gold is holding up very well at the moment. Let's take a look at oil this morning. Oil is trading lower by 77 cents. So that's a decent little dip on light sweet crude. That's the type of crude we use here in the United States. Brent crude is what they use abroad and in Europe. Light sweet crude, nonetheless, though, is trading at 91.08, now down 82 cents a barrel. Let's take a look at the USO. USO is also trading a little bit lower. Today is the presidential debate, so you could rest assured the president wants to get oil and gasoline prices down, especially going into these debates. We'll see if he's able to do that. But nonetheless, the only way I think they can really do it is to strengthen the dollar, or allow the dollar to get stronger. So the central bankers will have to allow the dollar to get stronger. I'm not sure they're willing to do that, because that means the stock market will have to pull back. So there's a give and take to all of this, but nonetheless, right now you do have the USO trading lower. It closed yesterday at 34.02. Today it's trading at 33.72, and light sweet crude is trading down 81 cents. So again, watch the dollar closely. That will tell you everything you really need to know, especially with oil and gold. But gold is refusing to back off, and that is telling us there's inflation coming into the marketplace at some point. So again, keep that on the radar, but gold is not backing off, even when the dollar is positive today. All right, let's take a look at a few different stocks out there. I think it's important to take a look at a few of these different names. Let's take a look at this SRPT. This is a pharmaceutical name, Sarepta Therapeutics. It looks like they have positive results for their drug. This is a huge gain. The stock closed yesterday at around 16 bucks, and now it's trading all the way up around 32. Traded as high as 35. I do have a level here, but again, when you have a drug news, it's always a little bit tough. The stock is having such a big move that I have to think that it's probably going to stay around this level for most of the day, but around the 35 and a quarter, 35.50. It looks to be pretty good short-term resistance. After that, it would be all the way up to around the $42 level. So really hard to pick these levels when you have such a big gap up like this. But nonetheless, it is a little bit overcooked here at the moment. But it's a strong gap up, and I think it will probably hold up here for the most part. So it's really not a great fade candidate if you ask me. Even though it's up a ton, it may get some pullbacks in there, but that's a very tough stock to trade. It's also very thin normally. Believe it or not, back in 1999, or make that 2000, the stock was $160 equity. So again, they do have positive drug results. Always a little bit tough, but around that 35.50 level looks to be a fair amount of resistance. All right, let's take a look at Family Dollar. Ticker symbol is FDO. This is getting a decent little gap up this morning. The stock has pretty good resistance right here at 68. The next level after this will be 69.60. Okay, so 69.60. It may even overshoot to the $70 level. You never know. But right now, resistance at 68, which you're at already, and it is starting to base there. So that level may not become important later. If you open up here at 9:30 above that level, you do not want the $68 resistance point. Then the next level is going to be 69.60. I think that's a fade candidate. It might even be here, but being that we're on the 68 level now as we speak, it makes it a little bit tough. But again, those are your levels: 69.59 and then 71.36. Those are your levels going forward. I think you could look for scalp pullbacks all at those levels this morning. Let's take a look at Monsanto. Ticker symbol is MON. This is one of the leading ag stocks, modified seed producer. Again, the stock traded down to around the 85 level, but it has recovered. I'm showing pretty good support at 86.44. You can make a case even some at 87, but let's go with the bigger levels: 86.44 and then 83.52, and then all the way down to $80.91. It's recovered quite a bit from when I first looked at it, so we'll see how this thing plays out and shakes out once the opening bell rings. But watch those support levels for Monsanto. This is a fairly strong gap this morning. We'll see if it holds and if it sticks. Yesterday you had Mosaic, which was another agriculture stock that was down sharply, and that level seemed to work out pretty good. So we'll see if Monsanto does sell off, and we'll watch the support levels there. But it is a fairly strong gap down, so stick with the 86.44, 83.52, and $80.92, and then ultimately I'd have to say 78.31, but I don't even expect it to get down that far. So we'll see where it goes from there. You will have some economic data, I believe, out today. I believe it's going to be right around 10 o'clock. You're going to have ISM non-manufacturing index for September. So you want to watch that at 10 o'clock. Could be a little bit of a market mover. Sometimes you do see a 10 o'clock morning pivot. Also, you have the presidential election, debate tonight. This is the first debate. I believe it's coming from Colorado, so at 9 p.m. So we'll see how the markets play into this one, but I can't really make too much out of it, to tell you the truth. We just watch the charts and do what the charts tell us to do. Try to cut out all the noise from geopolitical events and politics in general. So we'll see how this all plays out. But again, the dollar is going to be the culprit here. If the dollar moves up, expect these markets to pull back, and in fact, that's exactly what's happening right now. Dollar's getting a little bit of a bid, and you can see how quickly the spiders or the S&P E-mini futures have come back down. So let's see how it plays out a little bit later once the opening bell rings. But again, this could be one of those, choppy sessions again, and we'll see how it all shakes out. With that said, everybody, I want to wish you all a great trading day, and we will see you on the charts tomorrow morning. Have a great day, everyone.